What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Megan, and if you're new here, hi, please be sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you never miss out on when I post a video. I always say on all my sdsu videos that if you guys have any additional questions, to not be afraid to reach out to me on my Instagram DMs, and you guys never fail to do so, and I'm always getting so many DMs with so many questions about San Diego State. But over the course of like this past year, I keep getting the same exact questions, so I thought it would be really helpful to make a video where I address all these questions because so many of you guys obviously have them, and it would just be useful if I made one video answering them. So let's go. So a question I get asked a lot is if you are allowed to have your car on campus as a freshman. So when I was a freshman, you were allowed to have your car on campus and all you had to do was buy a parking permit. But last year they changed it then because I guess too many freshmen had their cars on campus, and then sometimes parking for commuter students was a bit frustrating and a bit hard to get. So they had it where if you were a freshman, you weren't allowed to have your car unless you got like exempt from it, which you had to like go about a certain process to be allowed to have your car. But for the most part, freshmen weren't allowed to have their cars on campus. And then this year, obviously with Corona, they allow freshmen to have their cars just because kids are always like leaving campus and like life is just different. So freshmen are allowed to have their cars on campus this year. Who knows in the upcoming years and next year if they're going to allow freshmen to have their cars on campus or if they're going to say no because they don't want freshmen to have their cars on campus. But let's say you guys aren't allowed to have your cars on campus freshman year. My freshman year, I didn't have my car on campus and I used Zipcar a lot. Or if I was just going with my friends who didn't have cars, we would just Uber places a lot. There is the MTS system. I never used it. Only like 2 of my friends have used it. One of my friends like loves using it and the other friend had a really bad experience on it. So that is an option that you can do. It takes you to like downtown or Old Town or even the beach if you like do a lot of little stops. I know they say that on their tour. They're like, you can get to the beach on the MTS like whole system, but it's just too complex for me. Once again, since some freshmen last year were exempt and could have their cars, you most of the time will have a friend that has a car, which is really, really nice. I know all my friends besides like 2 of them have cars. So if you don't have your car, just find someone that has a car and become friends with them. I know that a car isn't necessary, but it is something that I have found in college to be super duper useful. And I never thought it would be something that I need. I just thought like, oh, you go to college and you're kind of just like on your college campus. But because San Diego State doesn't really have like a campus town, if you need to go to Target, let's say for essentials, or like Costco, CVS even, like you have to leave campus. So you're either going to have to Uber there, you can't walk there, it's too far of a walk, or you have to find a friend that has a car. So my sophomore year and this year I have had my car on campus, and I am from New Jersey, so I had to drive it across the country. But I know some of my friends ship their cars or they also did the long drive. So those are 2 options that you can do to get your car out there. So yeah, that's my little breakdown on parking at San Diego State and just having your car on campus. Another question I get asked a lot is if it's hard to make friends your freshman year, like within the first few weeks and months. And my answer to that is absolutely not. You will find that the first few weeks and months of freshman year, everyone is just super duper outgoing. Everyone wants to make friends. Everyone's in the same boat. It's really rare for people to come in with like a whole friend group into college. So yeah, maybe sometimes people will know like 2 people or 3 people or know someone in a like grade above or 2 grades above that like helps them out and like invites them to parties and stuff like that. But for the most part, everyone's kind of in it together. Everyone's really eager to meet people and just make friends. And so the first few weeks, my recommendation to make your social life a lot easier and make the transition a lot easier is to just put yourself out there. Don't just sit in your room all day. Go out in the common areas and like meet friends. Go out to parties if that's your vibe, to meet friends that way. The people that you've been talking to on like Facebook or Instagram before college started, like hang out with them in person. Always eat meals with people. I think that's a great way to get to know people and meet friends, is just to eat food with them, because you're already going to be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So why do that alone? Just literally like knock on the door next to you and be like, hey, do you want to go get lunch? And they're gonna say yes unless they're just weird, but 99% of the time they are going to say yes, and it's just really, really fun. For me, I found that my dorm was a great area for me to meet friends my freshman year. Some of the people that lived in my dorm freshman year are still my best friends to this day. We did everything together the whole entire year, and last year and this year. It's really awesome if you do live in a social dorm, but I know there are dorms that aren't social and like people do just stay in their rooms. So if that's your situation, like don't be afraid to meet people in other dorms like while you're out and about at parties or in your classes, and then just go to those dorms and hang out all the time. Like I know people that were always on my floor and I was like, do you live here? And they're like, oh no, I live like across campus. Like I'm just always here. And you're like, oh, okay, that's sweet. But yeah, the dorms are just a great place to meet people. In your classes also, like, talk to people, meet people. I know it can be scary, especially if you're a freshman and you're going into like a 500-person lecture. My like whole thought process behind that, if I didn't know someone, was just to like latch on to one person, find one person that like looks cool, looks sociable, looks like they're your vibe, your type, and just sit down next to them and start talking. And if they're alone, they're gonna start talking to you too, and then you'll like get each other's number and you can help each other out with schoolwork and then just hang out, and then that is a great foundation for a friendship. So do not be afraid about making friends your freshman year. Everyone is super duper open to meeting friends. No one wants to go through college alone. Everyone's super duper social. And another great way to meet friends if you're interested is to join Greek life. So going off of that, a lot of people ask what sorority Rush is like at San Diego State because they hear a lot of things about it. Rush at San Diego State is really awesome because it's at the end of your first week of college. So you're already getting into the social scene. You're already like meeting people and like getting acclimated to the social setting of the school, which is super duper awesome. So I have so many videos about Rush, the pros and cons, what it's like, and just all of that. So check out those videos if you have more questions about Rush. But it is in the fall semester. And at San Diego State, we don't have a spring formal recruitment. It's kind of just like continuous open bidding if that is happening that year. A lot of people asked what are the pros and cons of going to a school out of state. So obviously I'm from New Jersey, but if you're even from like Colorado or Arizona or literally any state that's not California, this is helpful for you. So the pros of going to school out of state. Obviously not the price, that is a big con. But the pros of going to school out of state is that you're immersing yourself in a completely new environment. And because you're doing that, it's going to challenge you to grow and learn as a person. You could grow up in the same town your whole entire life and then go to college like 10 minutes away and you're kind of just comfortable. You may know the area, you may know the people, you may know what to do, the places to eat and all of that. But when you're immersing yourself in a completely new environment, you are forced to just learn and grow. And that is so awesome. And yes, it does face some challenges of like acclimating to the area and learning what the people are like there and how they act and just what the whole vibe is. But ultimately, I feel like it is so awesome to put yourself in this new environment where you're not comfortable at first, because with that comes growth, as I keep literally saying, and it's just a whole new experience. And like, why not go someplace completely new for college? Like, it is 4 years that you are given to have that opportunity to leave the bubble of where you grew up or the area you grew up and are familiar with. And so like, why not just take that opportunity? It's so exciting, it's so fun. I know for me, like, I always wanted to go out of state. It was never really like a thing for me to want to stay in New Jersey, and I'm so glad I did, because I've met brand new people. I don't know one person from my high school, and maybe you want that, but I know I didn't. It's made me make friends all over the country, which is like super duper awesome. I have friends from like Washington, Seattle. I literally like thought Seattle just had snow and rain all the time, and like, yeah, it does, but I've learned so much about just the world from those friends in Seattle. And I have friends from like Illinois and Texas and Florida, and it's just so awesome because I feel like if I were to stay in a school near me, I would kind of just know people from my area. And when you're with people that are from your area, you kind of just stay narrow-minded, I think. So I think I've become a lot more understanding of what all of America is like by exposing myself to a completely new environment and area. Now, there are also definitely some cons of going to school far away. You can't just drive home. But one thing that I do always say is like, no matter how far away you are from home, you are always just a flight away. So in my case, it's a 6-hour flight, but that's still fine. You can just get on a flight and go home if you really, really need to. And yes, like, it can be expensive and whatnot, but like, let's say I'm just having the worst time ever and I want to be home. Yeah, it's not as simple as driving an hour away, but I can be home in 6 hours. Like, it's fine. But something that I have learned, especially during Corona time, is that these people that live in California, they have the flexibility to just go home. And sometimes that makes you jealous when all your friends are going home and like, they're getting their laundry done and their meals cooked and they just like see their family and get things paid for by them. It is like hard to see sometimes, because then it makes you be like, I want to go home. But you do, weirdly enough, find friends that are from your area, even though you can be like way across the country. So for example, I go to school in California, but some of my closest friends are actually from like New Jersey and Pennsylvania. When all of our like California friends are going home for the weekend, we all get to hang out together and be like, ah, that sucks. We wish we could go home, but we can't. So let's go do something fun. Let's maybe go on a road trip or just like hang out all weekend together so that we're not alone. No matter how far away you are from home, you do find people that are kind of from your area, which like gives you a sense of like home, and they become your like new family. So that's really, really exciting. As I joked about before, a con of going to school out of state is that it is very, very expensive, which kind of leads into this next question that people always ask me about, and it's just the whole financial conversation of like, it's really, really expensive. Like, how do you make that work? And like, scholarships, what are they? How do you get them? I remember getting my financial aid package from San Diego State and I got $0, and I was like, that one hurts. Then you look at other schools and you're like, okay, I almost got like a full ride, or I got like half of it paid for. And then San Diego State, the school I really wanted to go to, gave me nothing. So when I went on a tour, I went to the financial aid office and I was like, hi, could I possibly get anything? And basically, I know I'm not like wording it correctly, but what they said is because you're an out-of-state student, they like can't give you money, and all their money is basically reserved for in-state students because it is a state school, right? Yeah, San Diego State, it is a state school. So they couldn't give me any money, and they were like, just apply to the scholarships on the scholarship website. I know that is a great tool to use, the scholarship website, and they always say apply to scholarships even if you don't meet the criteria for it, because you never know which one you're gonna get. I could have done that. I know I didn't. I was a bit lazy to like go in and write essays and get letters of recommendation. Like literally, if something says you need a letter of rec, I'm just like, too lazy for it. I know personally I didn't go about it that way. I just kind of applied for scholarships in my town that they were giving out when I was graduating high school, and then kind of just did it that way. But there is the portal for scholarships that SDSU has. If you are an out-of-state student though, you're not really gonna get money directly from the school, which sucks, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And then also if you apply to the honors college, I know I did that and I got in. There's like specific scholarships that you can get for being in the honors college, which some of my friends did, and I know they got them, but they were also all in-state kids. I know in-state kids get money a lot easier than out-of-state kids do, but if money is really tough and you just need like specific help on figuring it all out, like call an advisor at the school. They'd be more than welcome to help you out. Like Google so many like scholarships, and there are resources that want to give you money. They have millions of dollars and they want to give them to students. So even though the money that you may get to help you out may not be coming directly from San Diego State, there are external resources and places for you to go to get the money to help fund your college career. So money, always funny in a small town world. A lot of people actually ask me questions about semester at sea, which I haven't gotten to do yet. I was supposed to do it this past semester and then I was supposed to do it next semester, but obviously it was canceled because Corona, so I'm doing it my fall semester. But a lot of people ask me if that is allowed through San Diego State and if you'll get credit for it. The answer is yes, you can do it through San Diego State University. Like they allow you. It is through an external program. It's through like the Colorado University system, I think it is called, but you are allowed to do semester at sea, and then it just kind of like depends on your major. I had a friend who did it who didn't get any credit for the classes that she took, but I know that with my major I will get credit for the classes that I'm going to take on semester at sea. So that's just about that. Going off of the whole study abroad thing, not just specific to semester at sea, a lot of people ask if it is mandatory or required and kind of just like what options they have. Some majors or minors, it is required for you to study abroad. I know for me, being in the honors college, it was required until Corona happened and then it got waived, but I would have had to study abroad for the honors college. And if I wanted to have a Spanish major, I knew that I had to study abroad in a Spanish speaking country, which is why I couldn't do a major in Spanish. I could only do a minor because I wasn't studying abroad in a predominantly Spanish speaking country. I'm doing semester at sea, so that's like 13 different countries. There are so many study abroad options. I know a really popular thing is for kids to go to Barcelona. So many people do that, but there are so many different programs all over the country. There's a study abroad database for you to go and check that out, see what programs they have. There's like 4 different types of study abroad. So one's like directly through the school, and then there's like other ones I didn't really look into that much because I was really set on doing semester at sea. But there's a whole database on that. There's study abroad advisors that you can go to. I know I went my freshman year and they were like, whoa, you're really like early and on top of the game. And I was like, yeah, I know, I really want to go. And then you just have to like fill out all these online things and just get it approved and all this other stuff that will come as you get closer to doing it. But just depending on your major, I would check out to see if it is mandatory or not. If it is mandatory, I know there's also ways of like getting around it, sort of. Like you don't necessarily have to go for a full semester. You could do like a 2-week program or a winter program or a summer program. So there are ways to still meet that requirement without going to frickin' Japan for a whole 4 months. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hoped this helped answer some of the general questions that I just literally always get in my DMs. But with that being said, still, if you have more questions, don't feel afraid to reach out to me in my Instagram DMs or in the comments of these videos. I know that like some applications just got handed back and a lot of y'all just got in, so that is literally so exciting. I remember when I heard back in December, I was like so stoked because I didn't think I was gonna hear back until like March. So it's really exciting. I know so many of you have been reaching out to me. That makes me so happy for y'all. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, go outside.